recognize, retired ka na pala, Police General Sinas, no? Retired ka na, no? Alam mo, naaalala kita
Yes, sir.
dahil 2 beses ko na pinanood yung mabasapan noon. Di ba? Ayun,
Yes, sir.
human rights violation din yon. So I'd like you to say something about this. Being there during that time, there was war on drugs. Di ba? Okay. Please, you may make your statement.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Good afternoon to all members of this committee. As of now, I have no opening statement, but I am very willing to answer any questions and inquiries from any members of this honorable committee. Thank you for inviting me as one of the resource person in this committee hearing. Thank you at mabuhay.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Now we're going to ask Major General Napoleon Coronel. Andiyan ba siya? Andiyan ba siya? All right. You were also at that time the former director of the CIDG. Di ba? At alam niyo pong ibig sabihin nung war on drugs na yan. So I would like to ask from you, what did you do during your time?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, at the time that I was designated as the director of CIDG, sometime in 2018 to 2021, I had received instructions from the then Chief PNP.
Did you take your oath?
No, sir, I have not yet.
Not yet. Will you please stand up and take it oath, please?
Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in this hearing? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. At the time, I have received instruction from then Chief of the Philippine National Police, Archie Gamboa, to coordinate with then Department of Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara in relation to the possible creation of an interagency task force that will review and investigate cases involving extrajudicial killing, sir. As in my capacity as the Director of CIDG, I also coordinated with our...
You were saying interagency task force?
Yes, sir.
Who should be the members of that?
Sir, can I just check my note?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The interagency task force will be coming from the different agencies of government, particularly from the DOJ, the DILG, the PNP, PIDEA, and NBI, Your Honor. No, sir. This is the proposed creation of a task force made by the Department of Justice at the time, sir.
So it was created.
I understand that no authority or approval was granted for its activation, sir. That's why we're waiting for instructions for that committee to meet and proceed with the mandated tasks as provided, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say?
Well, other than that, sir, I'm here in my capacity as an invited resource person. I shall extend full support and cooperation to the Committee on Human Rights.
Okay, let me recognize now former PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino during that time, no, to make his own statement.
Sir, I don't have any prepared statement right now, but I will be happy to answer questions.
Okay.
Can I ask?
So I think now we could be able to go on with the interpellation. So let me now recognize Congressman Fernandez for this. Congressman Raul Manuel muna.
Yes, Mr. Chair, avail ko na yung privilege bilang bahagi ng minority and also bilang author ng House Resolution number 14. Mr. Chair, balikan ko lang yung document kasi ang sinasite na document kanina pa, yung accomplishment report ng 2017, yun po ay publicly available document. Kaya, Mr. Chair, nilabas yun ng PCOO dati, which is ngayon PCO. Kaya ako, kung yung intention naman ng committee ay magkaroon ng copy nun, para lang ma-confirm, di ba, ang report na iyon, we request, pwedeng kunin yun sa PCO. We get a copy of that from the Philippine Communications Office kasi for sure naman, as an institution, tinatago nila lahat ng mga nire-release nila ng mga documents. Pangalawa, Mr. Chair, ang mga reference documents galing dun sa mga ahensya, like ang sinasabi nilang sources
Congressman
nila.
Manuel, can you make a motion for us to invite the PCO here in the next hearing?
Okay, Mr. Chair. Turning what I said into a motion, no, we move that we invite PCO here. Tapos dapat, Mr. Chair, dala nila ang copy ng report na yon na nasa site natin dito sa committee.
There is a motion. Hearing no objection. Motion is approved.
Kasunod nun, Mr. Chair, gusto natin na syempre along with that, edi yung mga references. Kasi bahagi ng na-cite sa report na iyon ay agencies including the PIDEA, PNP, NBI, and Bureau of Customs. Ang point nito, Mr. Chair, kaya natin gustong ma-cite talaga yung sources dahil nga this is presented as #real numbers. No? Ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, dahil nga lumalabas ang reports ng mga independent human rights organizations, may kani-kanyang tala, meron din sa media. Pero nung panahon na pinapatupad talaga itong war on drugs, gustong ipakita ng past administration na sila ang may hawak ng real numbers, no? Kaya ginagamit yung hashtag na #real numbers. Kaya, Mr. Chair, if the past administration claimed that the war on drugs was successful, edi dapat panindigan nila itong mga so-called accomplishments. Hindi po pwede na ngayon ay naghanap tayo ng hustisya and accountability dun sa nangyari sa mga biktima, para bang andali na lang na taguan or i-reject o hindi i-take into consideration itong mga numbers na dati ay pine-present bilang mga accomplishments. Now, Mr. Chair, I'd like to proceed with my other points. Actually, I'd like to refer to the document which is the basis for the war on drugs. Mr. Chair, I'd like to direct my question to the former PNP chiefs who are present dito sa ating committee. Mr. Chair, I think nandito po si former PNP chief. Actually po, dala po sila Oscar Albayalde and De Bolsinas. Mr. Chair, I'd like to confirm na ang unang pinagbatayan na circular ay itong Command Memorandum Circular number 16 series of 2016. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a copy of the Command Memorandum Circular number 16-2016.
Okay.
This is my personal copy.
Mr. Chair, ito po ang tinatawag na Oplan Double Barrel. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Chair, this consists of two parts. Andyan po ang Oplan Tokhang tsaka ang project HVT o High Value Target.
Yes, Mr.
Can I confirm? Okay. Mr. Chair, tanong po natin dun sa pagpapatupad ng Oplan Tokhang, ano-ano po ba ang mga steps na tinitake ng police as prescribed by CMC 16, 2016?
Mr. Chairman, as stipulated in the Memorandum Circular, meron pong mga stages yan. Doon sa Oplan Tokhang, it's very clear there. It's written that the first stage is the collection and validation of information stage, and then the coordination stage, house-to-house visitations, processing and documentation, and then the monitoring and evaluation.
Okay, Mr. Chair, doon sa collection and validation, kasi based doon sa CMC 16, 2016, nabanggit po dito, the collection, and I quote, Mr. Chair, the collection and validation of information shall be conducted on the first week of the first month of the President's term. So, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin sa ganon, 7 araw lamang mula nang naupo, ay gagawin itong collection and validation. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to know, paano nag-collect ng information ang PNP noong mga panahong iyon?
Well, ang collection and validation information stage, Mr. Chairman, is not done in 1 week's time. This is a continuous process. Hindi po ito ginagawa in 1 week's time and then yung 1 week, then yung mga nag-surrender, which I recall, resulted to more than 1 million, hindi mo po makonsolidate in 1 week yon. So the consolidation information gathering was done on the first week, but it is on a continuous process. Dire-diretso po ito, hindi isang linggo lang, and then tapos kinuha yung mga pangalan, and then ito na yung mga nirehab. Remember ito pong tokhang na to, those are the ones that who voluntarily surrendered for rehabilitation, which kung hindi po ako magkamali, resulted to more than 1 million ito, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Chair, ano-anong mga impormasyon ang kinolekta mula doon sa mga suspected na mga drug users and pushers?
Maliban po doon sa sinasabi nila knock and plead, meron pong mga coming from the BADACs or the Barangay Anti-Illegal Drugs Councils, no? And of course, and some intelligence information coming from different sources. Marami po kasi pwede maging source yan, Mr. Chairman, kaya kinukonsolidate po yan.
Mr. Chair, paano po nag-verify ng mga impormasyon na nakukuha? Kasi at first, no, nabanggit po, umabot sa milyon ang mga suspected drug pushers and users. So, mula dun sa ganun karami, paano vine-verify para masala kung sino talaga ang mga dapat na puntahan ng ating pulis?
Groundworks po yan, Mr. Chairman, coming from the different police stations going up. No? I don't know specifically kung how they do it specifically also, pero there are several ways on how to consolidate and gather information as I've said earlier. So sila po ang kumukuha dyan and then kinoconsolidate po yan and then they conduct the rehabilitation.
Mr. Chair, dun sa phase ng house-to-house visitation stage, ano ang general na experience ng ating mga pulis? Kapag pupunta sila sa bahay, ano ang kanilang ginagawa kapag napuntahan na nila ang bahay ng suspected drug pusher or drug user?
Mr. Chairman, I have no actual and personal knowledge on how they do it as a commander dahil ako po ay naging regional director and the Chief Philippine National Police. But on the process, kanya-kanya po silang style dyan. Although ang nakasaad po dito is only knock and plead. Yun po ang ibig sabihin kasi ng tokhang. It's a Visayan word which means knock and plead. Wala pong sapilitan ito, Mr. Chairman, and they do it. I know they do it randomly in different houses. Kaya wala po silang search warrant, yes, but because they knock and plead. Wala pong sapilitan na nangyari dito, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Chair, tanong po natin kasi batay sa CMC 16, 2016, sa processing and documentation stage, and I quote, Part 4A, all suspected drug personalities who shall voluntarily surrender shall be required to fill out a voluntary surrender form. So, Mr. Chair, tanong po natin, paano po yung mga hindi voluntarily na magsusurrender? Ano po ang ginawa sa kanila ng police?
That I have no knowledge of, Mr. Chairman, because as you have said, they did not surrender. So wala po kaming information on that, Mr. Chairman.
I think, Mr. Chair, since ito ay operasyon na pinamumunuan ng pulis, then dapat meron po tayong makuhang sagot. Dahil nga, Mr. Chair, meron silang listahan ng mga suspected na drug pushers or users, and as said, sabi po nila, verify po yun, di dapat handa po tayo sa mga kung ano mga senaryo. Kasi pag hindi po natin nalalatag ng maayos yung proseso, doon pa lang, ibig sabihin pwede yung maging prone sa misinterpretation o pwede pa nga ay magkaroon talaga ng mga violations ng karapatan ng mga kababayan natin kapag inimplement na ito sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. So Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang i-reiterate yung tanong na okay, sabihin natin may mga pinuntahan sa bahay, nag-fill out ng voluntary surrender form. Meron po bang mga hindi nag-surrender at ano po yung nangyari sa kanila?
Well, yung pong hindi nag-surrender, we presume that they don't need to be rehabilitated, Mr. Chairman. Yung pong nag-surrender sa amin is yung mga who voluntarily surrendered because they want to be rehabilitated. And they were actually accommodated. Lahat po nung nag-surrender are all documented. And I'm sure the different police stations still have those documents, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, ang sinasagot po kasi ay yung mga voluntarily surrender di umano. So, ang assumption pa nga dun ay malinis talaga yung proseso. Mr. Chair, kasi, nasa section 4E, and I quote, any person suspected to be involved in illegal drug trafficking who denies or refuses the house-to-house visitation shall be referred to the anti-illegal drug units for immediate case build-up and negation. Mr. Chair, pwede po bang maipaliwanag ano po yung ibig sabihin ng negation?
Basically, it's just a word, Mr. Chairman, dahil madalas po yung word nga questionable, yung neutralization, negation, whatever you want to call it, it's basically just a police operation. Yun po ang ibig sabihin lang nun. Wala pong ibig sabihin na iba yun. It's just a police operation. They'll be subjected to police operations. Meaning, yung mga normal police operations po, intelligence build-up, and kung makakuha ka ng ebidensya, then you can conduct police investigations through bypass or probably apply for search warrant.
Mr. Chair, kapag hindi po kasi natin define ng maayos, malabo po yun eh. Pag sinabi nating negation, pwedeng ma-interpret na yan sa iba't ibang pamamaraan. Pwedeng halimbawa suspected, nagbebenta ng droga, tapos para mapigilan mo siya sa kanyang ginagawa kasi gusto mong i-prevent yun o i-negate yun, ang daming pwede interpretation at pwedeng kasama nun ay pagpatay. Kasi nga, as mentioned by the former PNP chief, hindi nila masasabi ano yung general na ginagawa. Kaya pwede talaga, iba-iba yung mangyari. At worst, ay pwedeng may mapatay talaga para lang manegate kung ano yung kanyang unang ginagawa, which is being suspected of being a drug pusher or kung ano pang bahagi dun sa drug trade. No? So, kung ganun, Mr. Chair, ang dating kasi ng ganitong proseso pa lang sa pagkakalatag ng CMC 16, series of 2016, ay para bang presumption ay guilty na kung sino man yung nasa listahan. Ang dating ay ang choice mo na lang ay mag-surrender ka at kung hindi ka mag-surrender, inenegate ka. No? At kung ano man yung interpretasyon na nun ng mga police sa iba't ibang areas. Mr. Chair, can we get the opinion of, say, the CHR on this? Kasi hindi po ba, halimbawa, kung meron tayong sapat na impormasyon na meron naman talagang involved sa illegal drug trade, hindi po ba dapat sana ay may warrant or magkaroon ng lawful arrest kaysa yung ganitong proseso? Can we get an opinion from the Commission on Human Rights?
Yes, Your Honor. On the part of the Commission on Human Rights, siguro we would like to emphasize, Your Honor, the right of every individual to due process of law. Nandyan ho yung batas at kung sila ay pinagsususpetsahan na drug user or drug pusher, gamitin ho yung batas. So they should be properly charged in court and be given their day in court. Yun po yung aming stand tungkol doon.
Kung ganun, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin we have officials in government who are saying na merong questionable talaga dun sa guidelines pa lang. No? Kasi nga, pag sinabi nating negation, kahit nga po ang Philippine National Police, hindi ma-define ano po yung negation. At as it turns out, meron na po talagang mga napatay. At andito po ang mga relatives na mga victims na posibleng nadamay sila dun sa ganitong negation na hindi man lang talaga natin ma-describe ng maayos kung ano po ito. So ito, Mr. Chair, may isa pang term na actually at least three times nabanggit din dito sa CMC 16, neutralization. So kung hindi po ma-define ano yung negation, baka po yung neutralization ma-define po. So can we ask, ano naman po yung neutralization?
Again, Mr. Chairman, yung pong negation, whether it's negation or neutralization, hindi po ibig sabihin yan is yung sinasabi, how you interpret it, no? Kung talagang pong kasi yung sinasabi nyo, yun ang interpretation, how come we have arrested more than 300,000 people during that time also, compared to the 6,252 na alleged killings, no? So, hindi po yung negation is ibig niyang sabihin yung kung ano sinasabi nyo. It's just a general term, no? It's a general term that we commonly use in the Philippine National years ago. So many years ago. At wala pong interpretation yon na sinasabi na ganito ang gagawin. It's either you arrest or you do an operation within the limits of the law. Remember, nakakonsentrate po kasi tayo dito sa sinasabi nila doon sa processing. If you will notice also on page 17 of this memorandum circular, maliwanag po doon sa sinasabi, doon sa page 17 under letter E, that all operations shall conform with the provisions of RA 9165, the rules of court, and strictly observe the rights of the accused enshrined in the Bill of Rights under the Philippine Constitution and allied laws, rules and regulations, as well as internationally accepted principles of international laws, public policy, and with due observance of human rights. So, hindi po ito sinasabi, yung negation, it's siguro kung sino ang nag-i-interpret nito. But we do not interpret that negation as one-sided, Mr. Chairman, especially so sa Philippine National Police po.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
General, mayroon lang akong gustong itanong. Nabanggit nyo that you were able to arrest 300,000.
Yes, Your Honor, if my record serves me right, we have 345,216. I just don't know the exact dates from 2016 to 2019 or 2016 to 2022. But I think the PNP can give you the exact numbers,
Are they
Mr.
all
Chairman.
now being rehabilitated, or there are cases in court on the 345,000?
Pardon, Mr. Chairman.
Are they all now being rehabilitated, or?
No, these are
there
the arrested
cases in
ones,
court?
Mr. Chairman.
Arrested ones.
Those rehabilitated, I think there are more than 1 million during our time, Mr.
More than
Chairman.
1 million. Pero yung
Yes.
arrest, for example,
Yung mga arrest, I
ano
have
pong
my
ginagawa nyo
I have my
when
own.
you arrest them?
I'm sure their cases are still ongoing, Mr. Chairman. Whatever happens during
Then
the
you said
PNP.
also that comparing that to more than 6,000. So therefore, you are making the 6,000 legitimate.
No,
to the
Mr. Chairman.
300,000.
No, Mr. Chairman, I'm not saying that,
That's
Mr.
what
Chairman.
I'm saying. I mean, I heard it. I heard it from you. That you have arrested 345,000 and only 6,000 have died. So
I'm
therefore,
asking-
you are legitimizing the
No, Mr. Chairman, I
345,000
never...
as against the 6,000?
No, Mr. Chairman. Please,
Okay.
you got me wrong, Mr. Chairman. Ang sinasabi ko lang po dito is yung sinasabi na word na negate, no? Yung negation and the neutralization. It's not about killing, it's all about police operations. Whether it's arrest or police operations resulted to the killing of the suspect. So
Thank you,
yun lang
thank you
po ang
for-
ibig kong sabihin, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you po. Thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Kasi alam mo, pag
No.
pinag-usapan natin yan, wala tayong pinagkaiba kay Hitler
No,
dito.
Mr. Chairman, hindi po yan ang
Di
ibig
ba?
namin sabihin. We're just trying to say yung word kanina na pinipilit po yung negation is all about.
Sinabi ni Hitler, I killed 6 million Jews so that about 200 million Germans would live.
No, Mr. Chairman, we are pro-life, Mr. Chairman, in the Philippine National
Good.
Police, and one death is too many, just like what you said earlier.
Salamat po. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair, i-reiterate ko lang po kasi nga hindi pa rin nasasagot yung tanong, no? Una yung sa negation, tapos yung neutralization, kung pareho ba yun, magkaiba ba yun, and kaya po siguro hindi masagot kasi nga hindi din malinaw talaga kung ano bang gustong mangyari dun sa mga napagsususpetsahan. Ang nakapanguna lang po talaga parang tinatrato na guilty po sila kasi supposedly naman kung merong sapat na ebidensya na bahagi sila ng drug trade, edi bakit hindi mag-file or mag-process para magkaroon talaga ng warrant of arrest sa kanila. Ang dating po ay mag-house to house pa, tapos kung hindi mag-voluntarily surrender kasi nga suspected po Again po, hindi pa po ito mga may kaso talaga, suspected pa lang, pero bakit po voluntarily surrender? Yun pong hindi ko maintindihan, Mr. Chair. So surrender ka, pero wala ka pang kaso. So, ang dating ng Mr. Chair, paano pa kapag hindi ka nag-surrender, inenegate ka na. At kasama dun sa mga negated, buhay po nila yung na-negate, Mr. Chair. Napatay po sila. At hanggang ngayon po, hanggat hindi po ma-define talaga yan, ibig sabihin, dun pa lang sa concept nitong war on drugs, mula dun sa naunang nilabas na si MC16, may problema na talaga tayo. Kaya ang resulta, pati mga bata at kabataan, namatay na. Taliwas dun sa promise nitong war on drugs na gaganda ang buhay, maging okay yung bansa, kung mangyari ito, di ba? Mr. Chair, connected lang, paano natin na-distinguish yung...
May akong suggestion. Gusto lang tanungin yung ating current PNP ngayon. Kung General Bakay, no? Yung bang rule ng dating Director General, andun pa rin pa sa inyo, yung negation?
Mr. Chair, we have the Director for Operations here. We also have the existing CMC on our anti-drug campaign. May the question be directed to him because I don't have the...
Generally. Generally. O kayo, yung bang negation, hanggang ngayon, andyan pa rin?
Sir, yung negation na sinasabi, sir, ay very generic word po yan doon sa amin. It doesn't mean na pag negation ay mayroon na yung kaya po yung sinasabi ni Honorable Congressman Manuel na yung mayroong mamamatay or it's within the law po yung gagawin naming operation.
Pag sinabi niyong generic, ibig sabihin, agree kayo doon sa sinabi ni Congressman Manuel?
Let me get, sir, yung tanong, sir, ni Congressman Manuel, sir, kung yung sinasabi niya negation and neutralization.
Mr. Chair, yung hinahanap kasi natin, ano ba talagang ibig sabihin nitong negation tsaka neutralization? Kasi hindi siya na-define dito sa document. Tapos, ang sabi, pwedeng maging subject to negation yung mga hindi mag-voluntarily surrender kahit na wala pa silang kaso, suspected na drug user o drug pusher pa lang sila. So, Mr. Chair, kaya natin yun gustong dinan talaga. No? Kasi sa atin nga dito, nagsispend tayo ng ilang hours para mag-discuss lang ng mga definition. Kasi kung wala yan, magiging prone talaga sa abuso yung mga police operations natin. So, Mr. Chair, to proceed, kasi meron project HVT o High Value Target. Mr. Chair, balik po sa PNP, paano po na-distinguish ang mga low value target tsaka mga high value target? I direct the question, Mr. Chair, to the PNP.
Baka si General Lee could be able to answer that.
Sir, yung mga high value targets, sir, base doon sa definition po noon, yun po yung mga big time drug pushers at saka mga syndicates, members po ng syndicates. Yung low value po ay yun po yung mga street level.
By being a member of a syndicate, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin kasama doon kung sino yung parang leader nila, tapos pati yung mga hindi din naman leader pero bahagi nung chain nung paano yung drug trade sa lugar nila. Tama po ba yun?
Basta po member po ng syndicate and yung low level po ay yung mga street level lang po.
Mr. Chair, meron po bang mga sinusunod na legal standards yung project high value target?
Sir, sa ngayon po, I will just speak doon sa ginagawa namin ngayon, doon sa anti-illegal drug campaign, which is the current memorandum circular ADORE. Yun po yung pinapatupad ko. I cannot speak doon po sa previous na campaign.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, since this is referring to Project High Value Target sa ilalim po ng Project Double Barrel, so sa implementation, Mr. Chair, I would refer this again no, dun sa former PNP chief, no? Kung ano po ang mga legal standards na sinunod dun sa Project High Value Target.
Mr. Chairman, yung pong operations, in any operations, there's always an intelligence build-up. No? Meron po tayong tinatawag na intelligence build-up. Kagaya po na sinabi, pag suspected ka, you just don't operate for the person na suspected. You have to build up an intelligence information, gather intelligence information. And if so warrants po, Mr. Chairman, kung talagang pong kailangan, we apply the necessary search warrants or the bypass operations nangyayari po noon. No? Kaya po yun yung sinasabi natin, yung sinasabi pag nag-surrender, we rehabilitate. Yung hindi po nag-surrender, wala nang pong problema yun. Wala pong sapilitan na hindi nag-surrender. Lalo na kung hindi naman po siya suspected na drug user. No? Wala pong sapilitan yung surrender, kaya po tinawag siya nag-voluntary surrender. Now, dun sa mga high-value targets, they usually conduct intelligence build-up, Mr. Chairman. Pag po merong mga nakuha ng mga information that warrants for a search warrant, then the PNP applies for search warrants.
Mr. Chair, matanong natin, kasi kung titingnan din po natin yung dokumento, lalo itong mga high-value target. So I would expect na dito mas detailed ang proseso dahil nga kung mga high-value target at tama yung proseso para talaga mapatigil sila sa kanilang ginagawa dun sa illegal drug trade, then ma-achieve sana yung objectives. Pero Mr. Chair, kumpara dun sa guidelines para sa Oplan Tokhang na nasa 4 pages ang proseso, kahit nga questionable pa yon. Pero Mr. Chair, para sa Project High Value Target, wala pang 1 page ang guidelines na meron under CMC 16, series of 2016. So Mr. Chair, can the PNP explain sa ganun kaikling guidelines, paano nila natitiyak na na-achieve nito yung kanyang objectives? Paano po yun sa actual? Kani-kanyang diskarte na lang yung mga police? Can the PNP respond, Mr. Chair?
But there are several ways to conduct intelligence build-up, Mr. Chairman. No? Kanya-kanya po kasi talaga yung proseso nila doon sa pag-conduct ng intelligence build-up down sa mga police stations, especially so sa mga iba't ibang mga special units created by the PNP and other agencies. No? Hindi lang po yung PNP yan. Wala pong specific, but always in the PNP and other government agencies, we are guided by laws, Mr. Chairman. We are guided by our laws. We are bound to observe human rights and we operate within the limits of the law. Palagi pong yun ang guidance namin, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I think
Meron
it would...
bang, gusto ko lang in relation to what you said. Nabanggit mo, Abiyadir, that you're always guided by laws. So paki-explain po dito, for clarification purposes, na kanya-kanya. Kanya-kanya yung style nila. Anong ibig sabihin? That is within the bounds of law.
Yes, yung pong ibig sabihin yung pag-gather ng information, Mr. Chairman. Yung madalas po dyan, of course, you have an information agent. You gather information. You can always gather information from several sources, Mr. Chairman. Marami pong paraan para makapag-gather ng information. Yun po yung sinasabi kong para-paraan. Pero yung pong we are always guided by the law of the land, Mr. Chairman. Yun po ang palaging nating sinasabi. In any memorandum circular that the PNP has, palagi pong nandoon yun, Mr. Chairman.
I would think it's the same way with the PDEA, correct?
Yes, of course.
General Aaron Aquino.
You can ask.
General Aquino. Pareho kayo.
Yes, sir. The same.
Okay, Mr. Chair, hearing that, dahil kung hindi clearly articulated, din yung proseso, at sasabihin lang po ay kani-kanyang diskarte, kung wala pong clearly articulated procedures, ang magiging fallback po niya ng mga police ay mga unwritten rules at pwedeng maisama po dyan, Mr. Chair, yung mga lumilitaw na mga reports ng pagkakaroon ng quota system o incentive system dahil nga pag ganun, kung yun yung uubra dun sa lugar, pwedeng yun yung ipatupad. No? Kaya, Mr. Chair, with that, gusto ko ding balikan yung ilan sa mga stark na data. Halimbawa, kasi, Mr. Chair, for this case naman, I would address the question to former PNP Chief Sinas. Dahil po noong nakaraang mga taon, in particular, Mr. Chair, noong siya po ay Regional Director sa Central Visayas naman po, nabanggit po doon na nung nagsimula po ang term niya as Regional Director doon, lalo pong tumaas ang mga cases ng drug-related killings. So, Mr. Chair, with that, gusto nating malaman, sa case naman po doon sa Central Visayas, ano naman yung kanilang pagkaka-implement ng CMC 16, 2016?
Your Honor, thank you. Specific po yun, sinusundan po namin yung, yung directives po dito. Kung ano pong nakalagay po sa CMC ay ganun po yun, sir, ang nire-relate po namin sa mga tauhan namin. As to just the same na sinabi ni General Albayalde, how we gathered the evidence para po mag-file ng operations ay may sinusundan po yun, sir. Okay, then pagka may enough evidence, anyway, authorized naman po sa batas yung mag-bypass, diba? So, pag na-confirm ng mga tao namin, they conduct either mag-apply ng search warrant or they conduct the bypass operations. Ganun po, sir, ang procedures doon.
Mr. Chair, pagdating po doon sa mga binabanggit ng police na mga suspected na mga drug pushers man, halimbawa, yung often cited po na nanlaban, sa ganun pong mga instances na merong nanlaban, pwede po bang maipaliwanag, sa ganung mga instances, ano po ang ginagawa ng police?
Pagka meron pong casualty, actually, ang nanlaban na term is used by the media, Your Honor. But pag meron pong casualties during the police operations, ay meron po kaming built-in procedures doon. Immediately po, ay ang IAS namin ay nagkakandak po ng Internal Affairs Service namin, immediately conduct their motu proprio investigations doon. Kami rin po ay inimbestigahan yung mga tao namin at inaalam ano nangyari at yung mga direct commanders nila were directed to submit the report on what happens or what is the actual incident nangyari po sa operations na yun po, sir. At if the evidence warrants for the filing of the case against our people, it's our Internal Affairs Service office that handles for that, sir.
So sa ganong mga instances, Mr. Chair, ano din ba ang range na mga pwedeng gawin ng police? Kasi pag nanlaban po, may range din po yun eh. Pwedeng nanlaban ka parang nagbabudge ka o iba din kung yung nanlaban ay merong baril, ganon. So, ibig sabihin, ano ang tolerance din na ine-execute? Ano ang mga pwedeng gawin? At ano yung hindi pwedeng gawin nung police sa ganong mga instances?
Ang guidance po namin, sir, just like sinabi ni General Albayalde na we observe the human rights, is kung may imminent threat po sa life ng mga enforcers po, if there's an imminent threat at alam nila na may delikado rin po ang buhay nila while conducting the operations, then it is on their discretion to defend themselves against overpowering opponent po, sir.
So yung procedures po ba na yun ay meron pong reference, Mr. Chair, nakasulat po ba yun o ano din? Kani-kanyang diskarte din?
I think, sir, mukhang meron naman ata yan, sir, kasi yun po yung nire-relay po namin sa mga tao, sir.
So ano po yung reference na iyon? Can our former PNP chief cite that, Mr. Chair?
Actually, sir, maski hindi naman naka-specify yan dito sa directive, sir. We undergo series of seminars, both sa human rights, operations, and intel po, na in-emphasize po yan doon. So, hindi po talaga specific na isang directive catch-all lahat dito sa Oplan Double Barrel po lahat yan, sir. Kasi, kumbaga, sir, yung mga yon ay already supposed to be alam na po ng mga pulis namin, sir.
So, so far mula dun, Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang kunin din yung pagtingin ng ating mga lawyers dahil nga mula dun sa police operation, pag-house to house, tapos yung fact na hindi nga nagfa-file ng kaso. I'd like to hear, Mr. Chair, from Attorney Conti and Attorney Jokno. Based sa kanilang knowledge, how sound is the whole process at ano po yung implications ng ganong process? Maybe Attorney Conti, then Attorney Chel.
First, thank you, Mr. Chair. But first, regarding suspected or the concept of suspicion, it is not a basis to file charges. The basis is probable cause, and therefore, you have to raise the quantum of evidence from mere suspicion to something that is probable cause, reasonable probability that this person committed a crime and that this person was the one who committed the crime. In the case of, the PNP has been citing the drugs law, so the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act, 5, 11, 12, 13. Yan po yung mga kaso doon. 5 is sale, 11 is possession of drugs, 12 is possession of paraphernalia, 13 is use. Ito po yung mga criminal cases. Unless there is probable cause to charge these people with that crimes, then hindi po sila pwedeng, sa totoo lang, hindi po sila pwedeng ipa-surrender, na sa palagay ko, in practice, hindi naman voluntary yung naging surrender. Pangalawa, dito po sa surrender, from the questioning of Congressman Manuel, it has been raised that the surrender happens, supposedly, yung tokhang is that you knock randomly on people's doors. Hindi po rin pwede ito. Kasi, again, it's just based on suspicion. And even if we say, actually ang nangyayari po sa totoong buhay ay, kumakatok sila sa lahat ng bahay. So, sonahin po yung mga lugar, palalabasin ng mga tao, and there's two parts. They ask you to maybe provide information, and second, they ask you to do drug tests. First, as to voluntary surrender, if we were to consider this as first, an extrajudicial confession. Ang extrajudicial confession po na, opo, ako ang may sala, ako ay may ginawang krimen, ako po ay user, or ako po ay pusher, seller, etc. It is not within the legal standards. Kapag extrajudicial confession po, na para admissible sa korte, una, kailangan po ay meron kayong abogado. Ang inyo pong confession ay nakasulat, pirmado, at sa harap o sa witnessed by your counsel and also by some other person whom you trust. Stricto po ito. In fact, actually pwede po kayong mag-waive ng abogado. Yan, sabihin nyo, aamin ako. Walang abogado. Pero yung pag-waive nyo ng abogado, kailangan din po ay nakapirma at nakasulat na, pumapayag akong wala akong abogado at gusto kong mag-execute ng extrajudicial confession. Kaya sa totoo lang, hindi po maiiwasan ang participation ng abogado. Kasi kung ayaw mong magkaroon ng abogado, pag aamin ka, bago mo gawin yon, kailangan mo ng abogado para alam mo na ano ang consequences kapag umamin ka. In the concept of voluntary surrender, ito po ang tinatawag na mitigating circumstance sa criminal law. Yung term na yon, ibig sabihin, sumusuko ka sa batas. Ang assumption nun, may kaso po kayo at sumusuko ka sa korte. Kaya yung konteksto niya dito sa Tokhang ay hindi sa ganoong legal framework at mukhang pinapasuko ka at pinapaamin sa isang krimen na hindi mo alam.